White House is weighing in on an issue that has divided Hollywood and Silicon Valley: how to tackle online piracy. The Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act are aimed at targeting people who illegally share copyrighted material over the internet. But internet companies such as Google, Facebook, Twitter and eBay say the bills undermine job creation and innovation within the online industry. Now, the White House says that while it supports anti-piracy efforts, it can't back any bills that reduce freedom of expression. Well, for more on this subject, I'm joined by Marvin Ammori. He's a legal fellow at the New America Foundation's Open Technology Initiative. Thank you very much for talking with us here in Al Jazeera. Why are so many different groups opposed to this bill? What's wrong with them?
So this is probably the most talked about internet bill in 6 or 7 years. And what the bill does is it actually imposes burdens on American search engine companies, American internet service providers, and other American companies to try to get at the problem of offshore internet piracy sites. And the American domestic sites and the users are really afraid that the bills are written in a way that'll censor their speech and undermine innovation and startups in America.
But exactly how would that happen? And then how do you balance the issue of freedom of expression, while protecting artists who want to make a living, whether it's in Hollywood or in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, exactly. So right now there's already a framework for how you deal with copyright infringement online. It's called the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of 1998. And under this framework, if a copyright holder sees an infringement online, like on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, it sends a notice to that big company and says, somebody uploaded an infringing video and it might be taken down. This bill goes a lot farther. It essentially targets whole websites or portions of websites in a really vague way. And then once that website is determined to be...
So it could basically shut them down rather than dealing with the issue in a local way, for want of a better description.
Exactly. Rather than targeting the exact copyright infringing work, it'll target the whole site. And it'll remove them from search engines, which really, I think a lot of Americans, when they hear that sites will be removed from search engines, that sounds like censorship. Like the chairman of Google, Eric Schmidt, said, this is censorship. This is what China does. And another one, the most controversial part of the bill, that the White House even has opposed publicly, is a part that would remove the domain names of different sites that fall under the bill that are believed to facilitate infringement of copyright.
Right, and just very quickly, how do the bills actually define internet piracy?
So they have a totally new definition. Right? So this is one of the problems. Right now there's established law around when you're infringing copyright and when you're not. And there's case law, there's Supreme Court cases. Sites like Napster were shut down under these definitions, and they have these new definitions. One is really vague, a site subject to seizure. Another one is dedicated to infringing activities. No one knows what it means. And the fear is that what's really popular on the internet now, what's sort of liberating, are user-generated sites, sites that let you share with your friends, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and these are the sites that could promote copyright infringement under these bills.
Right. So what does Congress do now with these bills? I mean, does it effectively have to tear the whole thing up and start all over again?
Well, I mean, the White House simply a White House post doesn't mean anything. Like, Congress could try to push ahead. It's a political statement that the White House might veto. So at the moment, there's when it comes to the U.S. legislation, there's a bill in the House called SOPA, a bill in the Senate called PIPA, or Protect IP. And what's going on is that on January 24th, next week, the Senate leadership wants to bring PIPA up for a vote. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of activity on the internet. 3 days from now, January 18th, many sites are going to go black on purpose, like censor themselves, and try to make the point that people should call their congressman.
So that's how they're going to be protesting.
That's exactly right.
Okay, Marvin Ammori, thank you very much for talking with us.
Okay, thank you.
Guatemala's president has ordered his military to combat the country's drug cartels. Otto Perez Molina